Social Zoom Factor, episode 201.
Driving results in business these days takes something special. It's a combination of the right info and the right energy. Pam Moore has both and is here to help you avoid the pitfalls and guide your business and life by leveraging and integrating social media, powerful branding, and digital marketing. Welcome to Social Zoom Factor. Now it's time to live life zoomed.
Are you ready to take your new idea to fruition? One of the first things you need to do is get your business online. Our partner HostGator can take you from zero to turbo fast. Download their Get Online the Easy Way ebook and receive a coupon code for 30% off any new hosting package. Simply visit socialzoomfactor.com/HostGatorEasy or simply text HostGator to 33444. The Marketing Nuts Agency helps companies transform their social and digital business from the inside out. Visit their website at www.themarketingnutswithaz.com for a client list, case studies, and some amazing free resources to get you started down the path of success. Hey there, Zoomers, and welcome to Social Zoom Factor. This is your host, Pam Moore. All right, today we're going to dig into one of all of our favorite topics, which is branding. And we're talking about why you need a brand, not a logo. And no matter what type of company I work with, whether that be large enterprise, all the way down to well-funded startups and solopreneurs, many people who even think they understand marketing struggle with what is branding. And they may have their own personal brand. We work with a lot of people who are very successful in business, and they externally, offline, they have a brand. They know who they are. But when it comes to taking that brand online, they struggle, right? They're like, just build me a website and help me do this. I build it about me. Well, who are you? And same thing goes when it comes to a business. They think they have their brand because they have a logo or because they have a few colors, all right? Your brand is so much bigger than your logo. It's so much more than your colors and a few corporate messages that you have. Your brand is the foundation and is one of the most important aspects of your business. It doesn't matter if you are teeny tiny, small, supersize, large, all the way up to enterprise, whether you're in B2B, B2C, and everything in between. You only have one chance to make a first, a second, and a third brand impression. In a nutshell, your brand is your promise to all who come in contact with your brand. It helps you build trust, and it informs people what to expect. It also, hopefully, differentiates you from your competition. And we talked about that in episode 200, celebrating the 200th episode. We talk about differentiation and diversification and how you can make some big moves in your business and in your life to make sure that you are continuing to diversify and differentiate. So today we're going to talk about the foundation of what is a brand, what is brand identity, what is brand trust, what is reputation, how does that differ? And then I'm going to give you 5 top reasons why you need to brand your business and maybe even yourself, and why you need more than a logo to build your brand. Okay. Your brand is rooted in who you are. It is what you are. It is what you do for your customers, your employees, your partners, your audience, and even your online community. Your colors, your logo, your website, or not, if you don't have a mobile-friendly site, a mobile responsive site, your apps, your videos, your tweets, your Facebook and other social network pages, your packaging, and even your communication, how your employees are communicating, is all part of your brand foundation. Did you ever think about it that way? And some may argue that your audience determines your brand, so why worry about it? Well, while this is true, that the perception of your brand is, in fact, in the eye, the heart, and the mind of the recipient, It is not true that the receiver is responsible for the first, the second, the third, the fourth brand touch, right? That responsibility comes from you. So think about it. Do you care about your brand? If you answer no, let me ask you another question. Do you care about your reputation? It's easy for many business and marketing leaders to be concerned with their reputation, but they falsely think that a brand is a logo. They may think, well, hey, I have a small business, or I don't have a marketing budget, so I'm not going to worry about branding. You'd be surprised how many times I've heard this from businesses large and small. But for the purposes of today's podcast, I don't have time to help you put together your entire brand architecture and brand strategy. I wish I did, because I love doing those things. However, what I will do is help you break this down over a series of podcasts and training modules we are launching very soon. And that includes webinars and full-on training modules. So big news coming on that soon. But what I will do in this episode is help you understand what branding is, why you must develop your own strategy if you want to be successful, not just using social media and digital marketing, but being successful in business today. Because to build your brand strategy and identity, you need to dig deep into your vision, your mission, and path, as well as your values, your personality, and things like constructing your own brand story. And I've done a lot of podcasts on brand storytelling, and I will make sure to link to those at the show notes/blog post for this episode. You can go to socialzoomfactor.com/201, because this is episode 201. And though your brand story is going to obviously morph, it's going to change over time, as it's your story, it's your life, it's your business, there should still always be a foundation that explains who you are, where you are going, and why. Who are you taking on this journey, and why should they come along with you? You need to invite them via brand storytelling, engaging content marketing, proper communications, helpful content, resources, tools, and simply by earning trust and being a friend, because that's what social is all about anyway. It's being a friend, right? Same thing goes in outside of digital and social, offline, right? We all need friends. So first, let's break down the word brand and the word reputation. Okay, brand identity is defined as the outward expression of a brand, including its name, trademark, communications, and visual appearance. That's brand identity. Because the identity is assembled by the brand owner, it reflects how the owner wants the consumer to perceive the brand, and by extension, the branded company, organization, product, or service. This is in contrast to the brand image, which is the customer's mental picture of a brand. The brand owner will seek to bridge the gap between the brand image and the brand identity. Brand identity is fundamental to consumer recognition and symbolizes the brand's differentiation from competitors. So brand identity is what the owner wants to communicate to its potential customers. However, over time, a product's brand identity may acquire, evolve, gaining new attributes from consumer perspective, but not necessarily from the marketing communications as owner percolates to targeted consumers. Therefore, businesses research consumers' brand associations. Okay, there you have brand identity. Now let's talk about visual brand identity. A brand can also be used to attract customers by a company. Yeah, no kidding. If the brand of a company is well established and has goodwill, I would hope so. The recognition and perception of a brand is highly influenced by its visual presentation. A brand's visual identity is the overall look of its communications, right? We get that. And I just did a podcast last week on visual marketing with 10 ideas for your visual content marketing. So I encourage you to check it out. Basically, it's everything that is visual. Visual brand identity is achieved by the consistent use of particular visual elements to create distinction, such as specific fonts, colors, and graphic elements. It's visual. At the core of every brand identity is a brand mark or logo. All right, so we get that. And color is a particularly important element of brand visual identity, and color mapping provides an effective way of ensuring color contributes to differentiation in a visually cluttered marketplace. And that's why it's so important when you are building your visual brand that you're building it on top of your brand architecture, and that you know what your colors are. You know what your colors mean. You know who you are. You know the attributes and how you want people to feel when they come in contact with your brand. If you are wanting people to feel warm and cozy and trusted, kind of like they could almost take a nap, you're not going to want to use colors like red and yellow. Right? If you are wanting people to feel super excited and happy, you're not going to want to use really drab colors either. So that's where these things all come together. That's why you need a brand architecture. Now, what is brand trust? Brand trust is the intrinsic believability that any entity evokes. So in the commercial world, the intangible aspect of brand trust impacts the behavior and performance of its business stakeholders. It creates the foundation of a strong brand connect with all of them, converting simple awareness to strong commitment. This, in turn, metamorphoses normal people who have an indirect or direct stake in the organization into devoted ambassadors, leading to advantages like easier acceptability of brand extensions, perception of premium, and acceptance of temporary quality deficiencies. Basically meaning people are going to know, like, and trust you. They are going to put up with more, and they are going to also start to be your evangelists, your advocates, right? So the brand defined is a unique design, a sign, a symbol, words, or a combination of these things employed in creating an image that identifies a product and differentiates it from competitors. Over time, this image becomes associated with a level of credibility, of quality, and satisfaction in the consumer's mind. All right. So that is where we then lead to positioning. How are we positioned in the market? What do people think of our brand compared to others? Thus, brand helps harried consumers in crowded and complex marketplace by standing for certain benefits and value. Right? That's why it matters. You need to be able to differentiate. You need to know the brand foundation for which your business stands on. It is a foundation. And let's talk about reputation now. Reputation of a social entity, a person, a social group, an organization is an opinion about that entity, typically a result of social evaluation on a set of criteria. It is important in business and education, online communities, and more. Reputation may be considered as a component of identity as defined by others. Okay, according to Merriam-Webster, overall quality or character is seen or judged by people in general is reputation. Recognition by other people of some characteristic or ability has the reputation of being clever, a place in public esteem or regard, a good name. So why do we brand? Why do we need a brand, not a logo? Hopefully, just even from hearing these definitions, it helps you understand why what your brand is, and that it's so much more than a logo. So before we dig into the top reasons that you need to brand your business and what these benefits are going to be, let's hear a few words from our sponsor, because they are what keeps this podcast zooming. I'll be right back. The new year brings a time for evaluation, reflection, and planning. As an entrepreneur, you know your product, your target market, and how you are going to differentiate from competition to achieve success. One thing that often gets forgotten, though, is the online foundation. Do you have the right digital foundation to build a structurally sound business, or are you building on sand and hoping it will hold? Successful businesses are built on steady ground. You need a blueprint blueprint for success, curb appeal, and security. Our partner HostGator can help you do this and more. Download their Business Builder Kit, inclusive of 9 steps for planning your website, 10 mistakes to avoid on your homepage, and 3 easy steps to protect your website from hackers. Simply go to socialzoomfactor.com/HostGatorBiz or text HostGatorBiz to 33444. Again, that is socialzoomfactor.com/HostGatorBiz or text HostGatorBiz to 33444. Do you ever feel stuck in a rut, like your online business and social business isn't all that it could be? The Marketing Nuts Agency helps small businesses clear up to the Fortune 50 brands, provide clarity and vision for current and future programs. The Marketing Nuts believe in ROI-driven decision-making while still inspiring audiences with relevant content. From social business strategy and consultation, influencer marketing, to corporate training and workshops, and fully outsourced digital and social programs. The Marketing Nuts helps you prioritize your investment, impact business goals, and inspire your audience to invest in a relationship with you. To start the conversation, visit www.themarketingnuts.com. All right, number one reason that you need to build your brand and that you need more than a logo, and you may need to brand yourself. Number one is that you want to be able to influence perceptions. It's obvious that absolute control over your brand is not possible. We can't control what people think of our brand. As I mentioned earlier, it's in the eye, the heart, and the mind of the receiver, the person who experiences your brand. However, the responsibility for the creation of your brand voice and the brand experiences that people have when they come in contact with your brand, that responsibility is yours. You have the opportunity to drive perceptions and how they are perceived in people's minds. Does that make sense? I hope it does. Branding is at the heart more about your audience, customers, and anyone that comes in contact with your brand than it is about you. So how are you going to inspire and connect with your audiences? Think about it. If you just throw out tweets, post to Facebook, spam emails all day, you are setting a perception that you don't respect the person receiving that yucky, spammy communication. You're not earning trust. You're not establishing and building relationships. You're not increasing brand equity, that's for sure. And you're not appearing anywhere near human, right? So what are you doing with perception? You are hurting your brand. You want to make sure you are building a brand and you know how you're speaking. You know what your tone is. You know the perception that you want to achieve, but that you are connecting in a human way, because really it's in the eye, the heart, and the mind of the receiver. Number 2 is that you earn trust and credibility. When you build your brand and you think about these things, you don't just throw it out there, you can eventually earn trust and credibility. You can establish thought leadership, and earning trust is going to take you time. Think about all of the brands that you know, you love, and you trust. How many of them do you really trust? Why do you trust them? How long did it take you to earn their trust? Did they earn your trust from one event, from 2 events, or was it numerous experiences and impressions? I want you to think about that. Tip number 3 of why you need a brand, not a logo, is it helps you differentiate from competition. So it's not a surprise that attention is one of the world's most scarcest resource. I talked about this in multiple episodes, including episode 107 from the Adobe Summit that we worked with them last year, and where we were, really into talking about how customer experience is your brand with my top 5 takeaways. I encourage you to really listen to that podcast if you're not understanding what I mean by that. I've done quite a few episodes on brand experiences, but the best part of developing your own brand identity, your own strategy, your own architecture is that you will feel more empowered to confidently share your brand story. You get to share why you're different and why anybody else should give a rip that your brand exists. Now, that doesn't mean you go sit on Periscope all day and brag about yourself. That isn't brand storytelling. You need to weave it into value that you're providing. All right. Branding is a perfect way to highlight why any client should go with you, hire you, or not. Why state the same messages, the same blog content, the same videos that everyone else is posting and sharing? Rise above the noise. Differentiate. Think bigger and better than status quo. It's much better to be copied, although it's not fun to watch people copy you sometimes, but it's a lot better to be copied than to be the copier, right? Let people follow you because you are a leader. Reason number 4 is that branding helps you emotionally connect with your ideal customer, with your current customers, with your audience, with your fans and your friends. The bottom line, we all know for centuries, people do business with other people. People talk with people. People share content from other people. What if Coke or Apple just stopped marketing and innovating? What if we didn't see the Super Bowl commercials during the Super Bowl next year? What if your favorite brand just stopped communicating with their fans and audience? Think about that. When you emotionally connect with your audience, you can better earn trust as well as a loyal brand evangelist because you are connecting at the human level. And I've done a ton of podcasts on this as well. Benefit number 5 is you provide value. So when you create your brand strategy, your brand architecture, your brand promise, and more, you have no choice but to focus on the customer, on your audience, on your fans, because brand equity in the eye, the mind, and heart of the receiver is 100% based on the value they receive as well as what they put into it. If the person on the other end of your brand invests more than they get, you lose brand equity in their mind. If they feel that they receive good value, that's where your brand equity increases. All right. So they need to invest and then they need to get something back in return. And this is a solid foundation you need to understand in building brand equity. Okay. In building your business. By knowing you're providing value, building your brand will help you build confidence for your marketing team, for your sales team, for your employees. Okay. By developing your personality, your vision, your mission, your brand story, you feel more confident in sharing your story. And then by sharing your story and engaging with your audience in a way that brings consistent value, they're going to trust you, they're going to engage with you, and they're going to share your content. Okay. I could honestly talk about these things for hours and hours, but I must end this podcast at some point today. So in summary, all of these benefits are what will help you derive success and value out of your investment in marketing, social media, and digital marketing. When you establish trust, when you offer unique value, when you differentiate from competition, people will want to be associated with you. Build the social train that is going somewhere that people want to get on. Invite them on your journey. Give them a seat, a paintbrush, and a canvas that empowers them to be part of something bigger than they can ever do by themselves. Empower them to craft and create and design the story with you, a story that delights, a story that inspires, a story that connects people. A brand doesn't stay stuck in time. It builds. It's like a big snowball rolling down the mountain or a wave coming onto the shore. It rides out with the tide, it goes with the wind, and it gains momentum the bigger it gets. And I truly believe in my heart and soul that it only takes a seed. And if you are just starting out and building your business or your brand, or if you are a big enterprise brand that needs refreshed, you can refresh. You build from a seed regardless how tight your budget is or how much time you have. So think big and start small and execute, right? Work hard, smarter, not just harder, and start with your story. Remember, it's about being human. It's about building trust. It's about adding value to every human being who comes in contact with you and your brand. So there you have it in a nutshell. I hope that I have inspired you today to do the double click on your own brand. And if you need help with this, if your brand is just all over the place and you're listening to this and you're saying, Pam, oh my gosh, like you would cry if you looked at our brand, our architecture, we don't know what to do. We love helping crack these kind of nuts. So this is what we do for our day jobs. So make sure you reach out to us. You can find us at themarketingnutswithaz.com. We're an agency. We're located in Orlando, Florida, and we would love to help you. We work with clients all over the globe. So I wish you the best of success. I encourage you to download the resources that I have. I have a ton of white papers and toolkits and that type of thing that you can download. Just go to the show notes page for this episode, socialzoomfactor.com/201. That's a wrap.
If you're ready to zoom your business and zoom your life, then don't let the end of this episode be the end of your journey. Visit socialzoomfactor.com/zoom for incredible free resources and guides. And be sure to join the Social Zoom Factor mailing list so you never miss an episode. We'll see you next time on Social Zoom Factor.